You're on the verge of uncovering something so transformative that it could alter your perspective on everything, yourself, the world around you, even the concept of time. This isn't merely another spiritual practice or self-improvement gimmick. What you are about to learn was once safeguarded by ancient masters, concealed beneath layers of enigma and confidentiality. Only a select few were deemed worthy of this wisdom, yet somehow it has made its way to you. Is that mere chance? Or is something more significant beckoning you? Each of us carries a latent skill set and an inner sight that perceives beyond what our physical eyes can detect. You've likely sensed it at some point, those peculiar instances when you just instinctively know something without grasping how. Perhaps someone locked eyes with you from across the room and you turned around instantly, or maybe you dreamt something that eventually unfolded in reality. These were not mere coincidences, they were glimpses of a profound awareness that is intrinsically woven into your being. This gift has always been present, quietly awaiting your acknowledgement, and now, for reasons you might not completely comprehend, the moment appears to be ripe. It's akin to a door you never realized was shut, finally swinging open. However, once you cross the threshold, there's no turning back. Your understanding of reality will be irrevocably altered. Consider this: two different realms exist concurrently around you. Were you aware there are two realities unfolding simultaneously, one you perceive and one you don't? You constantly traverse between them, though your awareness may be limited to just one. Think of it as entering a room with two entrances. One leads to the familiar territory of everyday life, while the other opens into a realm that most people fail to recognize as real. Throughout the ages, certain individuals have mastered the art of navigating both realms, not through sorcery or fantasy, but with a skill as inherent as breathing. They were not born with special abilities, they simply remembered how to tap into what we all have forgotten. This capability is not supernatural, it's a natural facet of being that is designed to awaken. And believe it or not, something within you is already stirring. You can feel it, can't you? That subtle tug towards something deeper, like a recollection striving to break through, or a tune just beyond your grasp. That sensation is not coincidental, it's a signal, a whisper from that part of you, aware there's more to existence than what is visible. 2. The overlooked gift inherent in all of us. Picture possessing a second pair of eyes, not on your face, but within. A vision that doesn't rely on light or lenses, but rather taps into intuition, insight, and consciousness. This isn't the stuff of science fiction. Every night as you sleep, you effortlessly utilize this ability in your dreams. Indeed, you explore entire realms without moving an inch. How do you think that takes place? Children frequently access this ability instinctively. Have you ever noticed how infants seem to gaze into empty space with knowing smiles? Or how young children discuss things that escape adult perception? They're not fabricating experiences, they're merely using a gift they haven't yet unlearned. Science is starting to catch up. Research indicates that our brains take in far more information than we consciously acknowledge. You've encountered it yourself, like when you suddenly sensed someone was watching, or thought of a friend right before they called. These aren't just coincidences. These are instances when your inner vision stirs to life, and now it's your opportunity to remember how to keep it open. 3. The 3 foundations of inner awakening. To fully awaken this potential, you need a solid base. Ancient masters recognized that 3 essential components must operate in harmony to unlock expanded consciousness. Think of them as vital ingredients in a powerful recipe. Omit any one, and the entire outcome is compromised. The first pillar is conscious silence. It's not merely about quiet surroundings, but is the stillness found between your thoughts. It's the realm where your most authentic self exists, beyond the distractions of daily thinking. Mastering the ability to access this silence while remaining fully alert is crucial to unlocking heightened perception. The second is sacred breathing. Breathing is an instinctual act we all engage in, but when performed with purpose, it forms a connection between body, mind, and spirit. Ancient wisdom recognized that certain breathing techniques could unlock new realms of awareness. Today, we refer to this practice as breathwork, whereas previously it was considered sacred. The third component is concentrated attention. In a world overflowing with distractions, sustaining profound focus is both rare and immensely powerful. Visualize it like a laser beam, as opposed to a flashlight. Diffused light has minimal impact, but concentrated energy can slice through metal. By merging this intensity of focus with deliberate silence and thoughtful breathing, something remarkable begins to manifest. These three foundational elements establish the framework for developing inner vision. By practicing them regularly, you'll start to sense the veil lifting. Next, let's discuss the importance of setting up your personal space before you delve into the techniques. Many people think they need candles, incense, crystals, or ideal conditions to initiate their practice. While these elements can enhance the environment, the true preparation occurs within your mind. Think of your mind as a wild garden that has become overgrown. Thoughts and emotions flourish chaotically, intertwining in disorder. To embark on this journey, you don't have to clear the entire garden. You only need to tidy a small area where you can plant your intentions. Dedicate a specific time each day, even if it's just 10 minutes to commit to your practice. The location doesn't matter, whether it's your bedroom, a serene park, or even a restroom during a lunch break. What truly counts is your dedication and regular engagement. External noise, temperature, and distractions will always exist. Learning to navigate them rather than resisting them is key. Even the sound of traffic can aid in honing your focus. Gradually, your mind will begin to associate this moment with sacredness, and the habit will strengthen. Now, let's move to the core of the practice, the SCP breathing ritual, which facilitates unlocking expanded awareness. This practice serves more than just relaxation. It's a gateway to enhanced awareness. Why focus on 7 breaths? Each one relates to a distinct layer, leading you deeper inward. The initial breath resembles unsealing a window that has been closed for years. As you breathe in, envision pulling in a golden glow, representing clarity and vitality. With every exhale, let go of tension, almost as if you're blowing away dust from an abandoned space. By the second and third breaths, the passage of time begins to slow down. Your thoughts start to detach from their usual frantic pace. Keep your eyelids heavy, yet maintain a keen sense of awareness. It's during the fourth and fifth breaths that significant transformation occurs. Some may feel a sense of warmth or tingling at the center of their forehead, while others may perceive soft colors or shapes behind their eyelids. Avoid pursuing these sensations. Simply watch them as they come and fade like clouds drifting across the sky. In the final 2 breaths, you transition into a profound state of tranquility and alertness, a place where you stand on the brink of sleep, yet remain fully conscious. This is where the line between different realms becomes less defined. Remain at ease, have faith in the journey. The inner sight you are seeking will manifest when the time is right. 6. The consciousness blind spot. Just before drifting into sleep, your mind enters a distinctive state that is neither awake nor asleep. The ancients referred to this as the blind spot of consciousness. It's a moment in your awareness, a stillness amidst the flow of thoughts. Most people slide through this every night without realizing it, much like driving through a dark tunnel. You sense a shift, yet the details of that transition escape your memory. However, if you begin to pay closer attention, you'll discover that this blind spot brims with potential. It is the space where thought dissolves into quietude, where your sense of self loosens its grasp, and where the distinctions between self and the universe start to fade. This is not merely a neurological event, it is a portal, a subtle one indeed, but a portal nonetheless. To grasp this realm, consider how your mind typically functions. Throughout your waking hours, you're in a constant state of processing information. You're responding, planning, recalling, and envisioning. Even during moments when you seem to be resting, there's a persistent undercurrent of mental engagement, yet in the blind spot, that undercurrent diminishes. For a fleeting interval, everything falls silent. This isn't due to a forced stillness, but rather because the machinery of thought has simply paused. This stillness is fleeting. In mere seconds, either sleep overtakes you or you return to heightened alertness. However, what transpires in those precious moments can be transformative. Countless individuals share experiences of sudden revelations emerging from this threshold, solutions to dilemmas they weren't consciously considering, forgotten memories resurfacing, or even vivid visuals that feel more tangible than dreams. The secret to intentionally accessing this space is not through force, but through familiarity. Much like training yourself to detect a faint sound amidst chaos, you must cultivate the ability to recognize the subtle changes in your awareness. Begin by focusing on your transition into sleep. Embrace the drowsiness, resist the urge to fight against it. Instead of yielding entirely, strive to remain aware as your body unwinds, allowing your mind to start its drift. You might experience sensations of floating or falling. These feelings are completely normal. They indicate that your brain is shifting from beta, a state of active wakefulness, down into alpha and then theta waves. These slower frequencies are tied to daydreaming, meditation, and the preliminary phases of sleep. They are also associated with creativity, intuition, and profound insights. As you grow adept at recognizing these transitions, it becomes clear that the blind spot isn't merely a singular point. It's a territory, a landscape of inner experiences lying beyond standard perceptual filters. Once you develop a comfort with it, you can learn to enter this space voluntarily, even during daylight hours. Try this exercise. Sit in a relaxed position and close your eyes. Allow your breath to slow and deepen. Start by tuning into the rhythm of your thoughts, observing them without engagement, simply watching. Pay attention to the moments when one thought concludes and another has yet to begin. Those pauses represent the edges of your blind spot. Initially, you may experience only fleeting glimpses, but as you practice, these intervals will expand. You might notice that time behaves oddly in these moments. A second could elongate into infinity, while a whole minute may slip away unnoticed. This is because our usual perception of time is closely linked to the ongoing flow of thoughts. When that flow slows or halts, the conventional structure of time starts to dissolve. In that shapeless space, something different begins to surface. It doesn't manifest as thoughts per se, but rather as sensations, emotions, and images. Occasionally, you might hear words spoken in a voice that feels both omnipresent and elusive. These experiences aren't hallucinations, they're glimpses into a deeper level of intelligence that is always there, typically overshadowed by the bustle of everyday life. Some refer to this as the subconscious, while others call it the collective unconscious, or a direct connection to higher wisdom. Regardless of what you name it, one truth remains evident. Accessing this through the blind spot feels exceptionally personal, yet universally relatable. One of the most intriguing facets of this state is that it's available to everyone. Special training or tools aren't necessary, nor do you need to subscribe to any specific belief system. All it takes is curiosity and a readiness to explore inward. Naturally, this can be more challenging than it sounds. Our contemporary society conditions us to direct our focus outward, pursuing objectives, amassing experiences, and defining success in external terms. Internally reflecting can often seem daunting or even pointless initially. However, the more you engage in this introspection, the more you uncover the wealth that lies beneath the surface. At the start, your explorations may be brief and inconsistent. You might catch just a glimpse of the blind spot before getting drawn back into thought, but with each return, you enhance your capacity to linger there longer. You develop what some cultures refer to as inner strength, enabling you to maintain awareness in situations where most individuals lose their conscious engagement. Over time, you may discover that you're capable of entering this state even while conversing or walking through a bustling street. It shifts from being an escape to becoming a companion, a subtle presence that accompanies you as you navigate the disorder of everyday life. This doesn't imply that you cease thinking entirely. Thoughts will continue to surface, but you begin to recognize them for what they truly are, transient events akin to clouds passing through the sky. You no longer strongly associate with them. Instead, you become the observer of those thoughts rather than the thinker. This transformation alters everything. From this new perspective, you start to discern patterns that previously eluded your notice. You realize how often your behavior is influenced by ingrained habits, unexamined beliefs, or conditioned reactions. You begin to question whether your long-standing perceptions are genuinely accurate or merely familiar. The blind spot transforms into a reflection that not only reveals the contents of your mind, but also the frameworks that influence your perception. It uncovers the assumptions you maintain, the narratives you construct, and the lenses through which you interpret your reality. At times, this can be disconcerting. Facing the blind spots in your awareness also means confronting those in your identity. However, it provides clarity, because once you grasp the mechanics behind your own thought processes, you obtain the freedom to detach from them. This isn't enlightenment in the grand mystical sense. Rather, it resembles a gentle awakening, a recognition that your experience encompasses more than it appears. And once you've encountered that space, even if for a fleeting moment, you can never fully revert to viewing the world as you once did. Therefore, continue to return to that threshold. Keep observing the intervals between your thoughts. Keep exploring the area where nothing seems to occur, yet everything remains possible. Because within the blind spot of consciousness, you aren't diminishing your awareness. Instead, you're unlocking access to a more profound layer of it. This revelation might be the most significant gift of all. 7. The rhythm of brain waves. Your mind transitions through various states during the day: alert, relaxed, drowsy, and dreaming. These transitions resemble radio frequencies, each providing a distinct form of perception. If you observe closely, you'll realize that your thoughts, feelings, and even physical sensations fluctuate based on where your awareness is focused at any moment. Throughout the day, you primarily operate in the fast-paced beta wave state. While this state is excellent for enhancement, it's not well suited for inner exploration. Beta waves are predominant when you're engaged in active thinking, problem-solving, or decision-making. They anchor you in the external world, enabling you to respond swiftly to stimuli, meet deadlines, and manage daily tasks. Yet, this heightened state comes at a price. This fast frequency can lead to mental fatigue and often hinders access to deeper insights. In beta, your focus tends to be outward. You're continuously scanning for signals, responding to emails, interpreting social cues, and handling stress. Although this is necessary for navigating modern life, it leaves minimal space for self-reflection. The inner landscape often fades into the background, something you only recognize when issues arise. However, as the day wears on and activities begin to wane, so does your brainwave pattern. You gradually transition into alpha waves, a more receptive state where creativity and intuition flourish. Alpha serves as the connection between wakefulness and dreaming, between action and being. It's the realm where ideas flow effortlessly, inspiration manifests, and relaxation deepens without complete detachment from reality. This is the state many creators, writers, and innovators access when they describe being in the zone. Time feels fluid, distractions diminish, and the mind opens like a clear sky following a storm. In the alpha state, you retain awareness of your environment, yet your connection to it becomes more gentle. You shift from being a reactor to an observer. Alpha waves frequently occur during light meditation, leisurely strolls in nature, or even while enjoying a warm shower. They foster a feeling of tranquility, alleviate anxiety, and create mental space. It's often in these moments that insights arise, not because you're actively trying to think of them, but due to your mind entering a frequency that promotes the formation of new connections. Moving deeper, you reach the theta waves, which inhabit the domain of meditation, dreams, and spontaneous realizations. Theta waves are slower than alpha and function just beneath the level of conscious awareness. This is the entry point to the subconscious, where memories, emotions, symbols, and archetypes dwell. Many individuals report experiencing vivid visions, insights of knowledge, or sudden clarity when they access this state. Theta is also where hypnagogic reactions occur, those fleeting images, sounds, or sensations that surface as you drift off to sleep. It's often referred to as the dream door, and rightfully so. In this space, time elongates, logic begins to loosen, and the lines between self and surroundings blur. While in theta, you're not merely thinking, you're fully engaging with experiences. This state holds significant potential for healing, emotional release, and creative breakthroughs. Here, traumas stored within the body may emerge, often appearing in symbolic forms, ready for acknowledgement and integration. Additionally, theta is where many spiritual seekers report encounters with guides, ancestors, or higher aspects of themselves, although interpretations can vary greatly according to individual belief systems. Following that is the delta state, regarded as the slowest and most elusive of the brainwave patterns. Delta waves predominantly occur during deep dreamless sleep and in advanced meditation stages. This is the state of pure unconsciousness, or at least that's what we believed. Recent studies indicate that delta may act as a direct connection to universal consciousness, where personal identity dissipates entirely, allowing a deep sense of interconnectedness to arise. While delta is uncommon in our waking moments, it is not unattainable. Longtime meditators, mystics, and those engaged in intensive trance work can occasionally tap into delta consciousness while fully alert. In this state, the concept of separation between the self and others ceases to exist. There is no differentiation between thought and perception, nor any divisions between past experiences and the present moment. This represents a return to one's source, an experience so expansive that it often eludes verbal expression. Grasping these brainwave states is not merely theoretical, it has real-world applications. When you become aware of the frequency fluctuations within you every day, you acquire the capacity to shift your mental states intentionally. You can transition from an overactive beta state into the more tranquil alpha state and then delve deeper into theta for insights, healing, or visionary experiences. The essential elements are awareness and intention. Many individuals find themselves subject to their habitual rhythms, caught in a beta state during the day, feeling anxious and drained, only to descend into fragmented sleep instead of naturally cycling through alpha, theta, and delta. However, when you begin to monitor your own habits, you can start steering your nervous system towards more beneficial states. Begin by recognizing when you easily slip into deeper states of awareness, perhaps first thing in the morning, just before you fully awaken, or during twilight moments when the environment feels serene and still. These are natural gateways. Rather than resisting this transition, embrace it. Allow yourself to remain in the stillness. You may discover that your most brilliant ideas emerge during these in-between instances, or that emotional tensions dissolve more readily when you grant yourself the time to slow down. Whatever arises, approach it as data to comprehend rather than issues to fix. Navigate these experiences like a surfer, learning to interpret the ocean's waves. With time, you will find yourself adeptly maneuvering through the currents of your own mind with greater skill and elegance. You start to understand which states of being are beneficial, what roles they play, when it's appropriate to concentrate and create, when to ease into relaxation and receive, and when to pause and rejuvenate. Perhaps most crucially, you realize the transitions between these states aren't rigid, they're adaptable. Much like water, which can transition effortlessly from solid to liquid to gas, your consciousness can navigate the realms of wakefulness, dreaming, and profound rest. Engaging in conscious breathwork is one of the most effective ways to explore the shifts in brainwave activity. By slowing down your breathing, extending your exhales, and incorporating brief pauses between inhalation and exhalation, you can gently invite your brain into lower frequency states. Try this straightforward approach. Find a comfortable position with your back straight, close your eyes and focus your attention inward. Begin to inhale slowly through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Aim for an inhale of about 4 seconds and an exhale lasting between 6 to 8 seconds. After a few moments, add a 2-second pause at the peak of your inhale and the end of your exhale. Don't push it. Simply allow your breath to fall into a rhythm that feels natural. Stay in this practice for 10 to 15 minutes, noticing how your body and mind react. You might initially feel a bit lightheaded, which is completely normal. Your brain is adjusting to a different oxygen level, and you may experience the surfacing of old tensions. However, with time, this approach can assist you in accessing deeper layers of awareness with unexpected ease. Another beneficial technique is guided meditation or binaural beats, which are auditory tools crafted to align the brain with specific frequencies. These can be particularly advantageous if you're just starting your journey into altered states and require a little assistance to move forward. Regardless of the route you take, the objective remains constant: to cultivate a deep understanding of the complete range of your inner experiences. To cease identifying solely with the superficial noise of beta waves and to rediscover the richness lying beneath. As you deepen this awareness, you may also start to perceive how external surroundings influence your internal state. Noise, light, and digital engagement influence your brainwaves more than you may realize. An overly bright and stimulating space can keep you in a beta state, whereas soft lighting, soothing sounds, and fewer distractions facilitate an easier shift into alpha or theta states. Be conscious of your environment. Cultivate spaces that foster the inner explorations you wish to undertake. Whether it's a serene nook adorned with a blanket and a candle, or a woodland path where the chirping of birds replaces city sounds, shape your surroundings to align with your intentions. Importantly, this isn't an act of escaping life. It's about enhancing your ability to experience it fully. By consciously navigating through different brainwave states, you elevate your creativity, sharpen your emotional control, and unlock new avenues of perception. In time, you will notice these transitions occurring with increasing ease, no longer demanding specific circumstances or sustained effort. You may tap into alpha clarity while delivering a presentation, access theta insights amid a challenging meeting, or find delta tranquility while squeezed into a bustling subway. This encapsulates the true power of understanding how brainwaves interact, not only as a means to delve into the inner realm, but also to master the essence of presence across all aspects of existence. So, continue to listen in, keep exploring, and observe the outcomes of riding the waves of your own consciousness. The more acquainted you become with your inner rhythms, the greater the freedom you gain to think clearly, feel profoundly, and awaken to the full spectrum of human potential. As you delve deeper into self-exploration, you will encounter an unexpected obstacle, resistance not necessarily from the external world, but from within. It may first manifest as a subtle flicker of doubt, a wave of impatience, or a persistent feeling that perhaps this journey isn't genuine after all. These sensations are not random. They are integral parts of the process. I refer to them as the guardians of the threshold, internal forces that assess your preparedness, challenge your dedication, and ultimately bolster your determination. Imagine them as waypoints along an extensive journey. Each one must be encountered, comprehended, and traversed not through force but through awareness. These guardians do not seek to hinder your progress. Rather, they exist to ensure that you are genuinely equipped for what lies ahead. Let's examine them one by one. The first guardian is doubt. Doubt often emerges first, creeping in subtly like a shadow that elongates across your thoughts. You may begin to question the reality of it all, whether meditation truly works, whether your insights hold validity, or if you have the capability to tread this path. This is completely normal. In fact, it is crucial. Doubt acts as the mind's mechanism for safeguarding you from illusion. It anchors you, prevents you from slipping into blind faith, and ensures that you do not confuse momentary experiences with enduring truths. However, if left unchecked, doubt can become immobilizing. It may trap you in a cycle of over-analysis, constantly seeking external affirmation instead of placing trust in your own experiences. The key lies in recognizing doubt for what it truly is. Not an adversary, but a mentor. Instead of dismissing it, welcome it to sit with you, engage it with questions. What exactly are you doubting? Is it the approach or is it yourself? Is there an alternative way to interpret your experiences? Over time, doubt evolves into discernment, the ability to perceive clearly without being influenced by illusion or unwarranted confidence. That is its benefit. Once you learn to collaborate with doubt instead of resisting it, it no longer has dominion over you. The second guardian is fear. As doubt begins to settle, fear frequently steps into the foreground. Yet, this isn't the typical fear that alerts you to peril or physical harm. This is a more nuanced form of fear, rooted in the unknown. It's the trepidation you sense before venturing into unfamiliar territory. It's that whispering voice that asks, what if you lose your way? Or what if all your beliefs turn out to be incorrect? Fear emerges because personal growth necessitates change, and change involves relinquishing control. As you delve deeper into alternate states of consciousness, you start to reevaluate deeply ingrained beliefs about your identity, your actions, and the nature of reality itself. This can feel quite unsettling. You might find yourself awakening at odd hours, overwhelmed by an unsettling sensation. Or while meditating, an unexpected surge of anxiety may rear its head. These are indicators that you are nearing the brink of transformation. Once again, Fear is not there to hold you back. It aims to safeguard you. It ensures that you are equipped to confront what lies ahead. The most effective way to navigate through fear is not to dismiss it, but to confront it head-on. Sit with it. Breathe through it. Allow it to express itself. Often, offering fear a space to be heard allows it to ease. What once seemed daunting in darkness becomes manageable in the light of awareness. As you practice this frequently, fear transforms from an obstacle into a guiding signal, indicating that you are on the cusp of a significant threshold. The third guardian is impatience. Following fear comes impatience. At this stage, you've likely caught glimpses of your potential. You've experienced moments of clarity, sensed shifts in awareness, observed patterns revealing themselves unexpectedly, and now you find yourself yearning for quicker results. Impatience stems from our contemporary conditioning. We exist in a society that promotes instant outcomes, fast food, rapid replies, and stories of overnight success. So, when spiritual evolution unfolds at a gradual pace, often barely noticeable, frustration can creep in. You might catch yourself wondering, when will I finally understand this? Or why does this continue to feel so challenging? Here is where discipline intersects with surrender. Growth cannot be hurried. Just like a seed buried within the soil, it requires time to establish its roots before it can flourish. Impatience is not merely about desiring results, it's also about resisting the present moment. This tendency pulls you away from your current experience and redirects your focus toward a future that hasn't yet materialized. To navigate through this guardian, it's essential to cultivate trust in the process. Commit to showing up regularly, even when it appears that no progress is being made, to appreciate both minor adjustments and significant breakthroughs equally. Each day that you engage in practice builds momentum, even if the results are not immediately visible. Progress accumulates incrementally, one breath, one thought, and one moment of awareness at a time. Eventually, impatience transforms into patience, which is not merely passive waiting, but an active presence. It involves a willingness to remain engaged without the need for instant evidence. That is when the genuine magic begins to unfold. Now we arrive at the fourth guardian, the spiritual ego. As patience takes root, the final guardian emerges, and it's the most deceptive of all. This entity dons a guise of wisdom, tranquility, and enlightenment. It communicates in soothing tones and shares seemingly profound insights. This is the spiritual ego. Unlike the previous three guardians that attempted to obstruct your journey through fear or frustration, the spiritual ego entices you off your path by convincing you that you've already reached your destination. Suddenly, you find yourself feeling different from others, special, chosen. You perceive everyone else as being asleep, mired in illusion, while you alone traverse the path of awakening. This is perilous. The spiritual ego does not represent pride in the conventional sense. Rather, it subtly inflates your identity while employing spiritual terminology to sustain itself. It makes assertions like, "I comprehend things that others do not." Only those who engage deeply in meditation can access the truth. I have surpassed ego. Ironically, the very moment you believe you have transcended ego is when it becomes most potent. The spiritual ego flourishes on comparison, exclusivity, and a sense of superiority cloaked in humility. It fosters divisions between the awakened and the unawakened, between elevated consciousness and lower vibrations. If left unchecked, it breeds isolation, arrogance, and a warped self-perception that obstructs genuine growth. The only path through this guardian is one of grounding, humility, and service. Reflect on this. How does my insight benefit others? Can I accept truth without asserting ownership over it? Am I ready to stay a learner even as I teach? Genuine wisdom does not place you above others. Rather, it strengthens your connection with them. It acknowledges that each person is traveling their own journey at their own tempo. By embracing this truth, the spiritual ego dissolves, not through denial, but through integration. You find no need to prove anything to anyone, including yourself. Instead, you simply keep moving forward, passing through. Each of these guardians imparts a vital lesson. Doubt transforms into discernment. Fear evolves into respect. Impatience shifts to patience. Ego is replaced by groundedness. They aren't hurdles to circumvent. Rather, they are initiations to embrace. Once you navigate them, a lasting change occurs within you. You stop depending on external validation. You cease pursuing experiences solely for their novelty. The unknown no longer intimidates you. Instead, you carry a calm confidence that emerges not from certainty, but from lived experiences. You understand now that the path is genuine, transformation is achievable, and that the deepest truths are discovered not through grand epiphanies, but in the simple act of continually showing up. Thus, when the next obstacle arises, and it will, you won't panic. You'll recognize it for what it is, another guardian, another gateway, beyond which lies the next phase of your evolution. 9. The moment of awakening. One day, without any prior indication, something alters. You may find it difficult to articulate, but you will sense it profoundly. Some may refer to it as a click, others as a quantum leap. For you, it might feel akin to awakening from a long dream, only to realize that you were dreaming the entire time. Initially, the signs are subtle. Colors appear more vibrant, not due to changes in the world, but because your perception has shifted. Synchronicities multiply, those peculiar coincidences that align too perfectly to dismiss. A name from your past unexpectedly appears in a conversation just at the moment you needed to recall it. A book you choose at random from your shelves provides an answer to a question you hadn't even articulated yet. These events aren't acts of magic. They're indicators of a change in awareness. As your consciousness broadens, your capacity to perceive what has always existed, concealed beneath the upheaval of everyday life, increases. Then, abruptly, the curtain is drawn back. Not all at once, but gradually, in layers. It's not theatrical, lacking in dramatic flashes or heavenly beings. Instead, the experience feels intensely personal, almost intimate, akin to recalling something you'd long since forgotten. You begin to view the world with fresh perspective, not because anything has altered externally, but because something has stirred within you. The division between self and others diminishes. You start to perceive the flow of energy that underlies appearances, the rhythm beneath the surface. What was once perceived as separate appears interconnected. You become more present, not only in your physical form, but in the moment itself. This isn't enlightenment in a definitive sense. Rather, it resembles an opening door, offering a glimpse into something vast and limitless. Once you've passed through that threshold, returning to your previous self feels impossible. Yet, here lies the paradox. The more you pursue this moment, the more it slips away. It manifests only when you let go, when you stop seeking and simply allow. Awakening doesn't stem from intensified effort. It arises from relaxing into the truth that has always been present, patiently awaiting you beneath the clamor of thoughts, the burdens of expectations, and the hurried pace of daily existence. This is why many individuals overlook it. They keep searching outside themselves, believing they need to achieve or become something more. Awakening isn't about becoming, it's about shedding, releasing the delusions that cloud our vision until only what is genuine remains. This is why it frequently occurs during tranquil moments, like while strolling, washing dishes, or observing the rain. It's not reliant on specific circumstances or spiritual routines. While these may set the stage, it emerges organically when the mind has settled enough to be receptive. Some perceive it as seeing clearly for the very first time. Others liken it to returning home after an extended absence. Regardless of the metaphor that resonates most, there's one undeniable truth. Everything appears fundamentally altered afterward. You start to realize how much of your experience has been molded by unexamined assumptions. You reflect on how many choices stemmed from outdated fears. You recognize how frequently you confuse thoughts with reality. With this awakening comes a newfound clarity. It's not merely an intellectual grasp, but an intrinsic understanding. You don't just accept something as true, you sense it deeply within you. Your entire being aligns with it, and this alignment fosters a distinct sense of peace. It's not merely the fleeting satisfaction of acquiring what you desire. Rather, it's a profound, unwavering tranquility that persists even amid turmoil. For now you comprehend that you are more than just your physical body, your thoughts, or your past experiences. You embody something far more significant, a conscious observer witnessing life as it unfolds. This awareness does not eliminate suffering, nor does it render you impervious. You continue to feel pain, loss, and confusion. Yet, there's now spacing around those feelings. You're no longer overwhelmed by them. Instead, you observe them, embrace them with compassion, and allow them to pass. This marks the inception of genuine freedom. And here's an unexpected aspect. Awakening reveals itself in layers. Every time you believe you've reached a pinnacle, a new frontier emerges. It's not a singular occurrence, it's a lifelong progression. You might awaken one morning feeling entirely transformed, only to find yourself grappling with the same old habits shortly thereafter. This is entirely normal. Integration requires time. Old conditioning doesn't evaporate overnight just because you've glimpsed the larger truth. In fact, the depth of your awakening makes the integration process more intense, as every facet of your being is called upon to harmonize with what you have discovered. Every belief, habit, and relationship comes into your conscious awareness. Some elements will adapt smoothly, while others may resist change. Nevertheless, each time you return to the present moment, you strengthen this new way of existing. Gradually, the insights integrate into your nervous system, becoming foundational to who you are. As this occurs, your life transforms, not through force, but because you've evolved into a different person. Someone who perceives more clearly, experiences emotions more profoundly, and lives with intention. You begin to make decisions that embody your deepest values rather than merely reacting based on conditioning. Your connections with others become marked by greater openness and decreased fear. You cultivate a deeper trust in yourself than ever before. This is the essence of true awakening, not just the moment of clarity, but the actions you take in its aftermath. Therefore, manage your expectations regarding perpetual highs. Avoid searching for constant ecstasy or seamless bliss. Genuine awakening is subtle and understated, manifesting in everyday experiences infused with extraordinary awareness. It encompasses the capacity to remain grounded while seeing things clearly, to feel intensely without losing your sense of self, and to navigate the world with both wonder and wisdom. If this journey has ignited something within you, recognize that this is merely the beginning. There's a wealth of discoveries yet to unfold and countless mysteries on the brink of revealing themselves. Stay curious, remain committed, and above all, be attentive to what is to come. Once your inner vision is activated, you may find that time behaves in an unusual manner. Moments can elongate, shorten, or even overlap. Insights may emerge that feel like they span lifetimes within mere seconds. Synchronicities may occur with such frequency they become impossible to overlook. Initially, this can lead to confusion, prompting you to question whether what you experienced was real or merely a figment of your imagination. Yet, over time, you come to an important realization. The concept of time as you previously understood it is not rigid. It is in fact fluid, particularly as consciousness expands. You begin to intuitively perceive events before they actually transpire, not in a purely predictive manner, but in an intuitive sense, an understanding that surfaces without needing explanation. You enter a room and can already sense who will speak next. You open a book and land on a passage that responds to a question you've yet to voice. These are indicators of your exploration through deeper levels of awareness. With this growth comes a sense of responsibility. It's essential to differentiate between symbolic visions and straightforward perception. Just as your eyes can tell apart a tree from its reflection, your inner vision uncovers various layers of reality. Some experiences manifest as metaphors, while others emerge as direct insights. Recognizing the distinction requires practice and, above all, honesty. This is a point where many seekers falter. They confuse symbolism with absolute truth or mistake emotional intensity for true spiritual depth. One moment they find wisdom from an inner voice, and the next, they become convinced they are destined for a cosmic purpose. The boundary between genuine insight and self-deception can quickly become unclear if caution is thrown to the wind. So, what can you do to remain centered? By nurturing an internal foundation, a consistent sense of self that stays grounded even as your awareness evolves. This foundation is developed through dedicated practice, sincere self-examination, and faith in your unfolding perception. It doesn't imply pushing aside what arises. Rather, it's about creating space for it without being overwhelmed. Picture it as diving into deep waters. If you swim too far without knowing how to return, you risk losing your way. But if you learn to navigate the currents, build your stamina, and keep sight of the shore, you can explore with freedom while remaining safe. The same principle applies here. As you delve deeper, be mindful of how your body reacts. Physical sensations often act as signals of what is genuine and what isn't. If an insight fosters clarity and tranquility, it's likely aligned with reality. If it provokes confusion or distress, it could be more about projection than perception. Additionally, pay attention to the way your relationships evolve. As your consciousness develops, so does your perceptiveness. You start to notice things that others may overlook. You detect unvoiced tensions in discussions. You sense energies before any words are shared. Some individuals will react favorably to this evolution. They'll value your presence, seek your guidance, and grow alongside you. Conversely, some might feel uneasy. They could withdraw, question your viewpoint, or attempt to pull you back into familiar behaviors. That's perfectly fine. Not everyone follows the same journey. Your role isn't to persuade them. It's about remaining grounded in your own truth. To navigate this new landscape, create daily grounding practices. These might include setting morning intentions. Dedicate several minutes each day to find your center before engaging with the world. Regular body scans allow you to reconnect with your physical sensations, ensuring you remain present. Journaling can capture your experiences, particularly after meditation or moments of heightened insight. This aids in integrating revelations and recognizing patterns over time. Immersing yourself in nature is vital. Spend time outdoors. Nature has an innate ability to reset your nervous system and re-establish your connection to life's rhythms. Engaging in mindful movement activities such as yoga, tai chi, or walking meditation promotes the free flow of energy, and prevents stagnation. These practices serve as your guide. They remind you that while inner vision holds immense power, it must be balanced with external awareness. Otherwise, you risk becoming so consumed by the unseen that you disconnect from the physical world. Another crucial aspect of navigating these profound experiences is mastering the interpretation of what you perceive. Not every message requires immediate action. Some are simply prompts to observe, contemplate, and allow understanding to unfold organically. Exercise caution, particularly with prophetic or visionary episodes. They may feel compelling, even urgent, but hastily acting on them without discernment can lead to mistakes. Allow them to settle within you. Allow them the time they need to unveil their inherent significance. Remember, just because something resonates deeply doesn't imply it's universal. Some insights are personal, while others are widely applicable. Learn to distinguish between the two. Above all, resist the inclination to categorize everything as either spiritual or not. In the depths of experience, such classifications tend to blur. What truly counts is whether an experience fosters greater connection, understanding, and empathy, not whether it adheres to a specific paradigm. As your perception advances, you'll notice that mundane instances possess remarkable weight. A fleeting glance in a bustling room, a bird resting on your windowsill, or a long-forgotten melody playing precisely when needed. These subtle coincidences transform into the universe's dialogue directly addressing you. In those fleeting minutes, explanations become unnecessary. You'll just know. Exploring the depths isn't about arriving at a definite endpoint. It's about mastering the art of living with heightened awareness without losing your balance. It's about harmonizing the enigmatic and the pragmatic, seeing clearly while fully engaging with everyday existence. So, continue onward, maintain your curiosity, trust your inner guidance, and above all, stay anchored, as the most significant revelations are not discovered in seclusion. They unfold moment by moment in the gentle revelation of a life profoundly experienced. The phase of return and integration follows. The genuine challenge surfaces post-awakening as you strive to reintegrate these insights into your daily existence. What value does expanded awareness have if it remains confined to meditation or dreams? You may have connected with something immense, something beyond thought, beyond time, transcending your typical sense of self. For a while, it's tempting to linger in that realm of clarity and stillness. Yet, eventually, you must re-enter the world filled with bills, deadlines, relationships, and routines. That's where the true work begins, not merely during the moment of enlightenment, but in how you bring that understanding into your everyday life. Integration involves existing within both realms simultaneously. It means seeing with clarity while performing everyday tasks, connecting deeply yet remaining grounded, and utilizing your insights to enhance your decision-making, foster authentic connections, and live with intention. This journey isn't about reinventing yourself, it's about embracing who you truly are, without illusions, resistance, or unnecessary hardship. Initially, this process can be challenging. The mind often resists change, especially when it disrupts established habits. You may occasionally revert to previous behaviors. Even after significant experiences, you might catch brief moments of lucidity only to be drawn back into uncertainty. This is completely normal. Growth is not a straight path, but rather a spiral, where you revisit the same lessons until they are ingrained within you. So do not anticipate perfection. Anticipate progress, setbacks, and moments of doubt that are often followed by unexpected breakthroughs. One of the most powerful methods to facilitate integration is through regular reflection. Keep a journal to document your experiences and their impact on your actions. Observe patterns, not only regarding what you encountered or sensed during meditation, but also how these insights manifest in your interactions, choices, and emotions throughout the day. This form of documentation assists you in recognizing the subtle changes that might otherwise slip by unnoticed. It provides you with a map of your inner landscape, illustrating how insights develop over time. For instance, you might find that following a particularly profound session, your response to stress alters. Instead of reacting instantly, you take a pause. Or rather than succumbing to frustration, you view the situation with renewed clarity. These changes indicate that the shift is becoming ingrained in your nervous system. Another crucial aspect of integration involves sharing selectively. Not every revelation needs to be voiced. Some insights are more beneficial when kept to yourself until the appropriate moment or never divulged. There will be individuals who resonate with your journey and are eager to learn from your experiences. Some might misunderstand, dismiss, or even deride your experiences. That's perfectly fine. Not everyone follows the same journey. Be selective about who you confide in. Choose carefully. Share only what feels secure and right. At times, the most impactful action you can take is to simply embody your insights without the need to articulate them. Most importantly, maintain balance. Broaden your awareness, yet stay anchored in the present. Allow your inner vision to enhance your life rather than act as an escape from it. You may start to notice changes in your perception of time. Moments may feel elongated. Everyday occurrences acquire fresh significance. You'll find yourself more in tune with the rhythm of life, less ensnared by its chaotic surface. This does not imply that you will be free from struggle. Life continues to present pain, loss, and uncertainty. Nevertheless, you will confront these difficulties with a different presence, one that recognizes beyond the immediate discomfort and creates space for deeper comprehension. This presence becomes your foundation. To fortify it, keep practicing mindfulness in your daily life. Don't confine your awareness to designated meditation sessions. Integrate it into your meals, conversations, and movements. Strive to be truly present in each moment, regardless of how trivial or routine. Here's a straightforward exercise. Select one daily activity, like brushing your teeth, washing dishes, or walking to work. For the coming week, engage in it with full attention. Tune into the sensations within your body. Hear the sounds surrounding you. Feel the rhythm of your breath. Resist the temptation to multitask or let your thoughts wander. After a few days, you'll likely observe a transformation, a greater sense of tranquility, a deeper connection to the present moment. This exemplifies integration in action. As you proceed to integrate your insights, you may also discover changes in your relationships. Some bonds may strengthen as you reveal your authentic self, while others might fade as you evolve beyond previous dynamics. This is a natural process. As time goes by, those extraordinary moments transition from being mere insights into integral aspects of your identity. Much like learning to ride a bike, the initial phase is filled with challenges, wobbling, falling, and doubting your ability to master it. Then, one day, you suddenly discover that you can balance with ease. After that, riding becomes effortless and instinctive. This is akin to what happens with your inner vision. Experiences that once felt magical evolve into practical realities. What previously necessitated extensive meditation can now be accessed with a single breath. The revelations you once sought start to appear organically, seamlessly integrated into your everyday life. And here's the most significant realization: the mystical and the ordinary cease to be separate. They coalesce into a continuous stream of awareness, insight, and presence. You come to understand that spirituality isn't merely an act. It's intrinsic to your being. It isn't confined to tranquil retreats or sacred rituals. It's present in the way you savor your morning coffee, in your ability to truly listen to someone without interruptions, and in the moments you take to breathe before reacting in tense situations. Spirituality shifts from a pursuit of elevated states of being to a commitment to living fully in this present moment. This doesn't signify the end of your growth. In fact, it deepens, becomes more nuanced and ongoing. Your path no longer hinges on dramatic awakenings or swift transformations. Instead, it unfolds quietly, marked by deeper patience, enhanced clarity, and a steadier sense of presence. You find yourself less focused on seeking validation from others, including yourself. You stop feeling the need to categorize experiences as spiritual or mundane. Instead, you live with heightened awareness, increased compassion, and greater alignment, which themselves represent a profound kind of awakening. One of the most unexpected aspects of this stage is how little you feel compelled to discuss it. There's no urgency to announce your achievements or delineate your transformation. Changes manifest so effortlessly that even you might overlook the fact that things were ever different, while you still encounter challenging days. Yet as time passes, those instances cease to feel like epiphanies and instead become integral to your identity. Similar to mastering bicycle riding, you initially face challenges, wobbling, falling, and doubting your ability to succeed. Then one day, a shift occurs, and you instinctively know how to balance. From that point on, riding becomes a fluid and effortless endeavor. The same is true of inner vision. What initially appeared mystical transforms into something practical. What once demanded extensive meditation now becomes attainable in a mere breath. The insights you previously pursued now come spontaneously, interwoven into the tapestry of everyday existence. And here's the profound truth. The divide between the mystical and the mundane disappears. Everything merges into a seamless stream of awareness, insight, and presence. You come to understand that spirituality is not an action, but a state of being. It doesn't wait for serene retreats or candlelit rituals. It unfolds in how you savor your morning coffee, how you listen to others attentively, and how you pause before responding in moments of tension. Spirituality shifts from an aspiration for elevated states to a commitment to living fully in the present moment. This doesn't imply stagnation in your growth. Quite the opposite. Your development deepens, subtly and continuously. Your path no longer centers around dramatic awakenings or abrupt transformations. Instead, it unfolds in quiet, persistent ways, enhanced patience, greater clarity, and a steadier presence. You become less focused on proving anything to others, including yourself. There's no longer a need to categorize experiences as spiritual or otherwise. You simply embrace life with heightened awareness, compassion, and alignment. This alone signifies a different kind of awakening. An unexpectedly notable feature of this phase is how little you discuss it. There's no necessity to showcase your progress or articulate your transformation. The changes unfold so organically that even you might forget how things used to be. And yes, you still experience challenging days. You may still experience fatigue, frustration, or confusion. Yet now, there's a subtle hum of awareness, a quiet assurance that everything is unfolding just as it should. This marks the final paradox. Enlightenment doesn't manifest in the way you anticipated. It doesn't eliminate suffering or erase challenges. Instead, it creates a space for you to meet life with grace, even when circumstances seem to fall apart. Because now you recognize that nothing is enduring. Neither joy nor pain, not even your present perception of reality, remains unchanged. Everything shifts, everything fades, everything transforms. And yet, amidst all this flux, something remains stable. A presence that observes without passing judgment, a stillness that encompasses everything. A recognition that assures you that you belong here. This awareness permeates your being. It becomes your bedrock, your guiding star, your safe haven. Perhaps the most exquisite aspect of this journey is its endless nature. Each day brings fresh chances to delve deeper, refine your understanding, and put your insights into practice. It's not about arriving at a specific destination, it's about uncovering limitless avenues for exploration. Some days, you might stumble upon something entirely novel. On others, you might revisit a past lesson and finally grasp it in a way that previously eluded you. Growth isn't always linear. It frequently spirals, looping back to familiar ground with newfound perspectives. Yet with each turn of the spiral, you're drawn closer to completeness, so take your time, don't force anything. Avoid comparing your progress to anyone else's timeline. Your journey is uniquely yours, unfolding at the ideal pace for you. If this path resonates with you, remember, you're just at the beginning. There is so much more to discover, countless mysteries awaiting your revelation. Stay inquisitive, stay dedicated, and above all, don't overlook what comes next. The most significant discoveries aren't made in solitude. They emerge moment by moment in the gentle unfolding of a life truly recognized. And your journey is still in progress, so keep moving forward. There's so much yet to uncover.